Hey guys, Dan Heilman back with another video. We're just going to have a quick video today. A couple announcements that have happened on X, talking about maybe some allocations coming. We're going to talk about this CME Gap that was just created after this big pump and some other stuff. So let's go. All right, very first thing, let's talk about this CME Gap. So if you want to check out where CME Gaps are, you can just go on to TradingView. You just hit add symbol, and all you have to do is do BTC1 exclamation point. That is Bitcoin futures. You can add them to your chart, and you can see on Friday we closed at about 85,000, and then we opened on Sunday night at about 95,000. So huge gap now between 91,610 and 85,760. Now usually these gaps get filled. They don't always have to get filled. Actually, the gap that we just filled are almost filled. Let's go back to the daily here. You can see we almost filled it, but there still is a slight gap here. Again, not saying that we're going to come all the way down to here to fill this gap, but there is a gap now still here. We don't always fill those gaps, but we like to fill some of it here. You can see we came down, filled a lot of it. Then we got some news. I think we probably would have filled this whole gap if the news didn't come when it came, okay? But now we do have this huge daily candle here. Obviously, if we go look at Bitcoin, we have this massive weekly candle I talked about yesterday. We gapped all the way down below the bull market support band and then gapped straight back up above it. Now we are retesting that. I think potentially we could fill this gap today. Doesn't mean it has to happen, but definitely can happen, right? So sorry about my voice, still scratchy. Lost my voice like 4 days ago. So here's what we got going on. So we'll open the market in 30 minutes and we'll see what happens. We could definitely gap down to here. I have some orders now on my trades. So let's talk about those real quick. If we go over here to, I have a Litecoin trade open, which I am down on pretty big right now, but I'll show you on the other chart, but anyways, Litecoin, I added some more down here. I did take some profits near the top. I probably should have taken more, but that's okay. Bitcoin trade, I did take a little bit of profits, because I am kind of expecting us to go through and fill this gap. Now, if we just blast off from here, that's okay by me. Is what it is. I wanted to just lower my risk a little bit because there is definitely some potential for a downside retest, but you can see here's my price points for orders. So 89,300, 0.1 BTC, 87,200, 0.15 BTC, and 85,800, 0.2 BTC. So those are kind of like filled in that whole gap. If we gap down it all into that gap, I'm going to pick up some orders on long trades. If you do want to sign up for Bitunix, I have a link below. It gives you a nice big discount on fees, and you can get up to $5,500 right now if you join and want to do any leverage trading. It's really cool. You can actually hold your spot on the exchange and then trade against your spot, which is pretty cool. You don't need to hold USD Tether or any other stable coins, so use the links below. But all right, let's look at some Litecoin, some other stuff here. And actually, let's talk about the announcement. So we do have some announcements on X, basically saying that the Trump investment announcement will happen at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I think people are assuming that this means that he's going to announce what he bought for the strategic reserve, possibly, or maybe what he's planning on. I'm kind of assuming that he already bought those assets and was waiting for the price to go down. You know, it seems like there was a lot of market manipulation. The price went down a lot, and then all of a sudden we get this announcement saying, "Hey, we're starting a strategic reserve." I would expect that they've already bought assets for that, possibly, maybe using one of his what's the name of his little investment company? I'm forgetting that, Liberty Financial or something like that. He has basically a investment company tied to his name, his family's name. So I'm assuming maybe they already bought some and they're going to talk about it, or they're going to talk about what they are going to buy. I talked about the CME future gap. This was really cool. The biggest candle in history, biggest weekly candle wick in history, $16,000 wick. So pretty cool. I also posted this. I think it's kind of interesting. So, you know, Litecoin was not mentioned, but if you go look at the charts, there's a 42% drop for Litecoin to get back to the range lows. Okay. And then if we look at XRP, it's literally an 81% drop to get back to the range lows. So if I was choosing an asset for the strategic reserve, assuming that I'm going to hold these assets for a very long time, I would not be buying XRP personally. Even though I have held Litecoin and XRP since 2017, 2018. I have been very, very long-term investors. Another reason, because, you know, I bought XRP up in here. Let's just go on the regular chart. We'll go here, we'll pull up XRP. So I bought a lot of XRP in 2018 for about, I think the worst I bought was somewhere up in like the $3 range. The best I bought was like $1.80-ish. I think I ended up buying a lot at $1.80. So that was about my cost basis. But you can see I was basically negative for years, dude. For years. I was basically negative until 2024, November. You know what I mean? So if I was personally buying something, I wouldn't be buying XRP, which is literally at the top of the range right now. Literally the top of the range. If we draw a channel here, let's do that. Let's draw a channel. Let's draw a channel from here to here, and we'll take it up. You know, let's do it to the candle closes there. You know what I mean? Am I going to buy something that's at literally the top of the range for a long-term hold? Doesn't seem like a great idea, right? Maybe that XRP Ripple Labs can just give the US government XRP, because I wouldn't want my tax dollars buying at the very top of the range, me personally. You know, I see a lot of people talk about XRPs going to $10 million, you know, $10 trillion a coin, you know, whatever. It's more money than is literally existing on the entire earth. Even if everyone sold every asset and piled all the money, XRP would still not be worth more than $10,000. So that price target is ridiculous. Now, if we look at something like Litecoin, we're way down here. And if, you know, even if it just dumps down to the range low, we only lose whatever, 40%, right? 42%, whatever it is. But if we go to the range high, you know, we got 300% up. So Litecoin would be a way better investment. Now, Solana is at least kind of mid of the range, but I mean, not really. So if we do the same thing, let's draw a channel here. Let's draw from this wick through, let's just go through that wick. Let's go down to the range lows down here. You can see Solana is a 90% drop to the range lows, and at least a little bit better on the upside, 52%. But do you see where I'm kind of going with this? It just seems a bit weird. You know, Bitcoin, yeah, kind of at the top of the range now, but Bitcoin leads the pack. And historically, if you look at any 4-year window, you're going to be positive on Bitcoin. Any 4-year window, literally, you can buy the exact top. 4 years later, you're basically at least there, if not up here, right? So, you know, we got, if we go to like a yearly candle, yearly candles are hilarious to look at, but you can see here, if we go 4 years from any purchase, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, you're up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you're up here, right? So if you held 4 years, you're always extremely positive. But if we look at XRP, no, we're not. So if we buy here, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we just lost literally 60% of our money on XRP if we held 4 years. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you held 8 years, now you're up 30%. Ooh, 8 years, we're up 30%. But I mean, look at Bitcoin. If I wait 8 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so even if I go top of the candle to the top of the candle, I'm up 600%. You know what I mean? 550. So I don't know, man. Litecoin doesn't look as good either when you look at it this way, but it hasn't had its final pump in this market, right? You can see there's a massive wick up here. So top to top, you got 80%. But if you go candle close to candle close, you're actually down 35, even 40%. But we haven't seen the pump from this time yet. XRP did get a very early pump in the market. So yeah, Cardano, kind of the same thing. I mean, it was, you know, worth $3, $4, and then it went all the way down to, you know, the high was only about $1.30. Is that right? Yeah, kind of the same thing here. So ADA, kind of similar looking to XRP, had a huge peak in, oh, this is only 2021. I'm on Coinbase. Oh, that's why I don't have the other pump here. So ADA actually not in the pump here. So I don't have historical data for ADA. So this is actually not a good chart to look at. So don't look at that. But anyways, that's what we got going on. We'll see what happens today. We'll see what happens when the market opens. Again, I am kind of expecting us to go down to fill some of this gap. We don't have to. We could fill just a small amount. We could only come down to 89,000 and then rip back up. Again, we did not fill all of this gap. I mean, shit, we could technically still come down and fill the rest of this gap potentially. Not saying it's going to happen, but it definitely could happen. You can see, I guess I'll actually make this gap all the way to the top. So we filled like 3/4 of that gap, almost got all of it. We did kind of reject off this moving average and come down a little bit, but then boom, we opened up high. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Market will open in a little bit. I think we also have some Fed data coming. Is that today? That's today. So 10 o'clock, we'll have some ISM manufacturing, and then we'll have some other Fed data, services, PMI, non-farm payroll, unemployment. So this is some other data. And then we'll have a rate cut potentially in March. The odds are probably not that high for a rate cut because of, what's going on in the economy, but who knows? Latest data does look a little bit more bearish, meaning, possible recession. Not really that bearish for crypto, because usually recession means interest rates are going down. That means people don't want to park their money in bonds. They want to go into more riskier assets to make a better return. So, that's usually positive, but we'll see what happens. Again, no one can ever predict what's happening. But that's going to be it for the video. Just want to talk a couple things. I'm still super bullish on Litecoin. I'll keep the trade open for a long time. I am expecting Litecoin to come back to the top of these ranges here. I am expecting to hit at least $400 this year on Litecoin. So from here, that is a 240% gain. So that's what I'm banking on. I think we'll make it at least there. We could even potentially retest all the way down at the bottom if we get really bad data. But so if you are using leverage, if you do want to sign up using the link, just make sure you're not going to get liquidated, right? Use very low leverage. I'm only using 5x on Bitcoin. I'm only using 3x on Litecoin. Even if I were to basically ride this all the way down to that range low of I think it was like $60, that'd be an 18 grand loss. But if I go to 418, that's an $86,000 gain. So for me, that risk is worth the reward. And honestly, if it goes down to $60, that's the range low. So there's no point in selling there. There's no point in putting a stop loss. I might as well hold it for a while longer and add to my position at $60. You know what I mean? Bitcoin, yeah, I could potentially get liquidated if we go down to I don't know. No, that wouldn't even liquidate me. I have about 120 grand, 130 grand in my account. So even if the price of Bitcoin goes down to 25 grand, I'm not going to get liquidated. That's very important to do that math when you're trading on leverage, either that or put a stop loss. But for me, stop losses usually kind of just lock in my loss. So I'd rather just add as the price gets really low than to lock in my loss at the lows. I think a lot of people probably did sell in this range. You can see I was buying all the way down below $80,000. I was buying and adding to my Bitcoin position as we went down and down and down. Then when we pumped out, I didn't add any more. I did sell a little bit here to kind of lower my risk because I kept adding so much. I ended up with a lot bigger position than I wanted. So I did close some of mine just to lower my risk. And I did place orders back on the books if we pull back in. So that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Comment below, what would you guys do if you were creating the strategic reserve? What coins would you have in it? Would it be only Bitcoin? Would it be Bitcoin, Litecoin? Would you add Solana, XRP, all those? What are your thoughts? Love to hear. Have a great day, everyone. See you guys.